You used to think something was wrong with you, that you were too sensitive, too intense, too different. You blamed yourself for not fitting in, for never being able to pretend everything was fine when deep down, nothing felt right. You tried to adjust, and each time, it felt like betraying something sacred inside you. But what if nothing was ever wrong with you? What if the problem was the world you were placed in? If your palm carries the mark of a crescent moon or the letter M, you are not lost. You are chosen. These signs are not genetic coincidences. They are sacred codes, messages from the place your soul came from, reminders that you are not entirely human. This video will undo every false belief you've ever carried about yourself. Why you never truly belonged. Why no one could fully understand you. And what happens when you stop trying to fit in and start living in alignment with the divine origin God inscribed into your very hands. Watch this video to the end if you're ready to confront the truth your soul has always known. Comment, "I was never meant to fit in," if these words are awakening something deep in your chest. Subscribe, because from this moment forward, you won't just hear the message. You'll become part of it. You are not just flesh and blood. You are a divine soul wrapped in human form. And if you carry the sacred marks, the crescent moon or the letter M, then your very being is a living message from above. You were made in the image of God, not as a metaphor, but as reality. You carry within you a spark from the higher realms, a flame that cannot be extinguished by this world's illusions. Your existence is not limited to time or space. The body may be temporary, but your essence is eternal. This is why you've always felt different. Not because you are broken, but because your spirit was never fully bound to the systems of this world. You were born with a vibration that doesn't match the noise around you. And the moment you recognize this misalignment, not as a flaw, but as a clue, you began remembering. Chosen ones are never ordinary. They are sent. They are encoded with purpose. And when the signs on your hands begin to speak, when the inner fire refuses to stay silent, that's when the awakening begins. Not to become something new, but to return to what you've always been. You are not simply part of this world. You walk in it, but you belong to something far greater. And once you know this truth, you cannot unknow it. You were never just human. You were always more. From the moment you took your first breath, the world began working against your memory. Systems were built not to serve you, but to shape you, shrink you, silence you. You were told how to think, what to want, who to become. But none of it ever fit, because it was never designed for a soul like yours. The chosen carry a frequency too high for this world to fully absorb. And so, the world does what it knows. It distracts, manipulates, distorts. It whispers that your sensitivity is weakness, that your dreams are unrealistic, that your inner voice is just imagination. But every time you tried to accept those lies, something deep within you resisted. That resistance was holy. You were not made to conform. You were born to awaken. But the more you tried to dim your light to fit in, the more your spirit ached. Because when high energy is forced into low spaces, it suffers. Not because it is wrong, but because it is powerful and misplaced. Everything around you, from media to education, from culture to conversation, was built to make you forget, to keep you asleep. Because a chosen one who forgets is harmless, but one who remembers, unstoppable. And now that you're remembering, the system can no longer hold you. What once felt like chains now begins to fall away. The world didn't fail you. It simply couldn't contain you. And now it's time to reclaim what it tried to erase: your divine identity. When the world fails to contain you, the truth must come from within. And often, it reveals itself in the most unexpected places, like your hands. The markings you carry, the crescent moon, the letter M, are not random. They are reminders, cosmic fingerprints left by the Creator, designed to activate memory at the appointed time. These signs speak in silence, but once you truly see them, you cannot unsee them. They are not decoration, they are declarations. The crescent is the symbol of spiritual sight, of a soul that remembers cycles, energies, unseen realms. It calls to those who feel deeply, dream vividly, and navigate the world with invisible senses. The M is the mark of sacred leadership. It belongs to those who carry justice in their bones, vision in their eyes, and fire in their actions. Together, these symbols confirm what you've always suspected, but dared not say aloud. You are here for more. You were sent not to follow, but to lead. Not to settle, but to shift. Your life is not about surviving in a system that was never made for you. It is about disrupting it with light, your light. And if you carry one of these marks, or both, then this isn't your first time being called. You've felt it in dreams, in silence, in moments you couldn't explain. These signs are not the beginning of your story. They are the awakening. The moment a chosen one begins to awaken, the world responds, not with applause, but with pressure. This is not a punishment. It is proof. You were never rejected because you were weak. You were resisted because your presence disrupted the illusions. The system feels your vibration before you even speak. Your light exposes what others try to keep hidden. And those still asleep in comfort cannot help but react. They distance themselves without knowing why. They question your truth, even when you say nothing. They try to tame your fire, not because it is wrong, but because it is real. The resistance you feel is not a sign of failure. It is the world's recognition that you carry something it cannot control. And yet, this resistance is sacred. It is the very pressure that sharpens your discernment, strengthens your conviction, and tests the roots of your faith. It teaches you not to seek validation from systems that were never meant to understand you. It teaches you to listen inward, where truth is not loud, but unshakable. Many have mistaken this struggle as isolation, but in truth, it is initiation. For only those marked by divine origin must pass through such fire. And the more intense the resistance, the more undeniable the calling. What the world pushes against, it fears. And what it fears most is someone who remembers who they are. Because once you remember, nothing can stop what comes next. You weren't made to blend in. That tension you've carried between what the world expects and what your soul knows isn't confusion. It's clarity. Every time you tried to adapt, something inside you pulled back. You followed the steps, wore the smiles, played the roles, but none of it ever felt real, because it wasn't. The systems around you were never designed for someone like you. You weren't built to follow scripts written in fear or silence your instincts to be accepted. You were shaped by something older, something wiser, something louder than the voices around you. That inner dissonance, it's not a flaw, it's the signal. It's how your soul says, you remember. The reason you never felt at home is because you weren't here to settle. You were here to see deeper, feel wider, speak when others stay quiet, and carry something forward that most people won't even recognize until you've already moved through the room. Stop apologizing for what doesn't fit. Stop rewriting yourself to sound familiar. The people who were meant to walk with you won't need you to translate your truth. You don't owe the world your silence just because it doesn't know what to do with your voice. And you never needed permission to carry what you were born with. Some were made to find comfort. You were made to bring fire. Now walk like someone who knows the ground was waiting for your steps. To live as a chosen one is not an idea to admire. It is a rhythm to enter, a truth to inhabit, a fire to carry through every decision, every moment, every breath. You were not placed on this earth to survive the way others do. You were sent to remember. And that remembering begins the moment you choose to live not as a product of the world, but as one who was sent into it. Living as a chosen one starts with awareness. The world is loud, and that noise is not neutral. It pulls, it fragments, it seduces you into forgetting what is essential. A chosen one must build spaces of stillness, not once in a while, but as a discipline. Before the phone, before the world wakes up, before the expectations arrive, you return to your center. Even 5 quiet minutes of truth each morning can reset the compass of your soul. Because without awareness, your steps are borrowed, and chosen ones do not walk borrowed paths. Second, you must protect your energy. This is not just about avoiding negativity. It's about recognizing that your life force is sacred. People will be drawn to you, but not everyone comes to honor what they touch. You don't have to fight every battle, explain every boundary, or absorb every emotion. You were not made to be available to everything. Learn to walk away from what empties you. Know when to rest, and know that rest is not laziness. It is obedience to the rhythm of your source. Third, walk with quiet authority. The world teaches you to prove, to defend, to perform. But authority doesn't chase approval. It stands firm in knowing. You don't need to explain your light to those committed to misunderstanding it. Move in alignment with your convictions. Let your decisions speak where words fall short. Authority is not how loud you speak. It's how deeply you're anchored. Fourth, move by faith. Not blind optimism, not wishful thinking, but faith. The decision to act based on what your spirit knows, even when your eyes don't see the full outcome. The world waits for conditions to feel perfect. The chosen walk when God whispers, "Now." Delay comes from doubt, but movement opens doors that fear cannot. Finally, stay connected to the source. The world may teach you to hustle, to push, to do it all alone, but isolation is how power is lost. You are strong, yes, but your strength is borrowed from God. Stay rooted in Him, through prayer, through stillness, through daily conversation, not with the world, but with the one who sent you. Do not let busyness replace intimacy. You were not sent here to impress the world. You were sent here to obey heaven. And to live as a chosen one means this: you no longer act from fear, you no longer bend to chaos, and you no longer search for belonging. You create it by walking as one who never needed the world to understand, only the courage to answer the call. You don't need more time. You don't need more signs. You don't need the world's permission to become what heaven has already confirmed. You know who you are. That quiet truth has been rising inside you for years, sometimes in dreams, sometimes in pain, sometimes in moments of silence too deep to explain. And now, it no longer whispers, it speaks. This is the moment to stop shrinking, the moment to stop hesitating, the moment to stop waiting for someone else to tell you it's real. You are not being called to live cautiously. You are being called to rise with conviction. Live as the one who has been marked. Speak as the one who remembers. Move as the one who has nothing left to prove. because you were chosen before the foundation of this world was laid. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. The world doesn't need more silence. It needs the sound of someone who has remembered who they are. Say it out loud. Declare it in the comments. Write it with your breath. I accept my calling. Because the path doesn't begin when the timing feels perfect. It begins the moment you stop denying what's already burning inside you. You've waited long enough. The time is not tomorrow. The time is now.